Rem, he said he doesn't know if he's ever going to retire. Does that scare you?
No, that's who he is. I wouldn't expect him to. I can't picture him not doing what he does. I think that he would be bored and bitter and being so upset. Like,
Bored and bitter.
yeah, like he loves what he does.
Yeah.
No, it's true.
And
It's
he'll
sort of
continue
like
to
when
do that.
record labels like get new artists and they tell them what to do, when as if like what they were doing before wasn't working. Right. It's like, why would you stop someone from continuing to do what they want to do when it was working? That's why you were attracted to this act in the first place. So I definitely relate to what you're saying.
Yeah. That's dope, man.
Yeah.
I really got some reflecting to do when I leave here. Like, holy
Are you
shit.
gonna become a better person after this?
I might.
I might.
Before we get out of here, because I think that time is kind of coming to an end, I just want to talk about some of the bigger moments on the podcast.
Okay.
I think definitely since I've been on board, I've been a part of some of these moments with you.
Yeah.
But again, a lot of things just go unsaid, and you just put one foot in front of the other and go. So I got a few moments that I wrote down, and I just want to hear your thoughts in those moments. What you think the outcome would be? Were you nervous? Were you scared? Were you happy? And we'll go from there.
Yeah, sure.
So let's start off with the Nicki Minaj debacle that we flew to LA for. We were not home court in Apple headquarters.
Not at all.
So it was a little bit hostile.
Very much not. Yeah.
40 screen minutes?
Yeah, so a little hostile environment. What were your thoughts? The internet went crazy.
Man, I don't even really honestly know. Well, at first it was weird because they only had like one mic or two mics.
Yes.
So Rory and Maul were splitting one mic, and I was not going to try to squeeze in to be a third person on that same mic. So I was just kind of chilling, honestly. And then Joe
Like, it wasn't
left.
directed at me.
Yeah, Joe left, and I wasn't sure if he was coming back or not. So we just hung out for a minute. I followed Maul and Rory's lead because they were just still sitting there chatting. So I was like, all right, fuck it, we're here.
Gotcha.
I'm gonna sit here and soak up the moment. I don't give a shit, like whatever. They had champagne for us and shit. Like I'm gonna chill. I'm gonna chill and ride it out.
Okay. Pusha T. That was a huge moment.
That was a huge
Pusha T kind of dropped a bomb on like the fucking world on the podcast. Basically just revealing Drake's whole life that we didn't know about, at least.
Yeah.
And I know while we were doing it, I was just in awe. Like, that was probably the first outer body experience I had as a fan. Because I'm a huge fan of Pusha T.
Yeah. Me too.
And so, I think all of us are.
Yeah.
Like, it's almost like, how can you not be?
Right.
And then for him to want to come to us and for him to have these things that we didn't know what the fuck he was going to say.
Right.
We knew it would be a moment.
Right.
But for it to be that moment, like, it shifted hip-hop. It shifted the conversation.
Yeah.
And I think it's a moment that we may not get the credit for.
Yeah.
But,
I never thought about it, actually. Yeah, you're right. I don't know if I gave us credit for that. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Because you don't. You don't. You just don't.
Yeah.
So now looking back on it, what do you think? What were your thoughts? How'd you feel?
I mean, I just was happy to like be able to sit around and kick it with Pusha T. Like I say, it's one of my favorite artists, really. So I had met him once because I was always a assistant to the music director of the BET Awards. So I was always there with Preem and my guy Charles at the Cypher shoot. So I met him at one of the shoots. And he was super cool. All those guys are actually very nice.
Yeah.
All the good music guys are like, they come up to you.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, which is weird. Like when celebrities come up and say, hey, by the way, I'm Common. You're like, I know. Big fan.
Or start rapping all his lyrics.
Yeah, right. But that's how Push was then. You know what I'm saying? So I wasn't surprised that he was so cool and cordial when we did the shoot at Joe's. So, man.
What'd you feel about the moment, though? Like, once we recorded it, dropped it the next day, and the world went crazy.
It was great, except for we got in trouble for not editing out something at the beginning.
Okay.
Oh shit, I didn't know that.
It's going now, don't worry. It's going now.
Yeah.
I gotta get it.
We fixed it.
Okay, and the last moment that I really have was another moment that you were a part of. This was before I even met any of you guys. I was really on the outside looking in on this moment. Drake versus Joe. How hard were you working on these records?
Bro, oh my God. It was insane.
I know Joe was in a wild state of mind.
He dropped like 6 diss tracks, right?
Yeah, I think it was 4 that officially, maybe 5 that officially released, but there was a lot more that we recorded.
No.
Wow.
Bro, oh my
Come on.
God. That shit was intense. First of all, we were in the studio nonstop for like 4 days. I left to go to her college graduation party, I think it was.
They were in Jersey. I remember he's just like,
Maybe it was a birthday. It was one of the other.
yeah.
And I left the studio at like 10 o'clock at night or whatever to go to her party. And that was the only time I left the studio, actually. So,
Yeah.
it was.
I remember visiting you guys over there.
We were in the middle of
bringing
working on
food.
an album, so we got completely derailed. And that kind of led to me just finishing up Rage in the Machine, honestly. Because it was like, he did that, and then after that, him and Sin started to become an item, so he was kind of derailed musically.
Right.
So we put it together. But as far as the actual beef, man, it was a lot of time in the studio. It was great because A-Rap was in there just chopping shit up, making new shit. Joe gave him ideas. And like I said, there's at least 3 or 4 more that didn't come out.
Was there ever a time where you look like, Joe, you gotta chill? Like, bro, you gotta relax. Get out the studio. Leave me alone. I want to go see my girlfriend. She just graduated. Like,
probably the whole time. Not really. But I do remember one of them shits we recorded at like 8 in the morning or something absurd. It was just like, bro, I'm going to bed. Like, this is too late.
Oh, shit.
Like, we were up until 8 a.m.
Sick.
Yeah, that's not too early. Like, we were up still.
Damn.
It was
I need y'all to do an animation on like that. I need an animation dramatization. Everything's going good. The music is regular. You know what I'm saying? It's like, quick, everybody get in the studio. I just start scrambling, throwing records. Joe's got you just see his head bobbing.
I didn't see that animation. I did.
Just see that.
Joe was going. Yeah, a lot of cigarettes. A lot of cigarettes.
Out the booth.
That was an intense. I feel like it lasted. I want to say it lasted a month. I could be wrong about that, but it was a long, maybe a couple weeks. It was a long time.
Yeah,
a fucking long time.
Crazy.
You know
That's
much.
crazy, man. Those are some wild moments to be a part of.
Yeah.
And again, I don't know. I think,
and I loved a couple of them, by the way. I think that most of them I've liked, but it was too much. You know what I'm saying? But Wake and Making a Murder were super dope.
Yeah.
And I think the other ones were dope. It was just like
it was a
overkill.
lot.
It was a lot. It was overkill. Yeah.
People weren't ready for that.
Yeah.
So, did you guys hear that stat that came out today about Eminem? He set a world record for, I think it was 229 words and 30-second span.
In that Godzilla record. We just listened.
Exactly. Was it sort of like that in terms of like the volume of diss tracks coming out? Like people just not listening?
No, people still listen to this shit.
Yeah. Or taking it seriously enough.
I think, at some point.
a lot of balls.
Yeah, I think at some point people probably checked out. For sure. I mean, at first they were very, like, the Making a Murder was the first one, and that one did super well. Wake did super well.
Yeah.
And then after that, I think people, gradually dropped off. But that shit was fun, honestly, man. I like, that's one thing you gotta love about Joe is his intensity.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? His passion, his intensity.
Yeah. It's contagious.
Yeah.
It's very contagious.
Yeah.
I think a lot of the time, especially before Alex and Steph met Joe and met, all of the team, I think I kind of took some of that and implemented in our kind of operation.
Yeah.
And Steph has called me.
And it ain't work.
No, it didn't. Because that's just not like, you can take and pull. Like I said, I take from all of you guys at some level.
Yeah.
And that's why we've able to like create what we have.
Right.
But it's contagious.
Yeah.
That's all I'm saying.